Running for cover, some key Democrats, especially those facing tough re-election battles in swing states, are putting daylight between themselves and President Obama, and that includes the president's signature legislation, the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. Support for that now hitting an absolute record low. Take a look at this new Fox News poll. 36% favor it, a whopping 59%, almost 60% do not. Let's bring in our political panel. Leslie Marshall joins us, radio talk show host Cal Thomas, syndicated columnist, both Fox News contributors. Good to see you both. Cal, let me start with you. You know, these Senate Democrats, it's very interesting. They supported Obamacare for the longest time. Now, all of a sudden, they're beginning to hear from angry constituents over higher policies, lost policies, canceled policies, lost doctors in hospitals, and they are experiencing an epiphany. What do you make of it?
Well, I think what you're going to see, Greg, is a rerun of the 1994 wave election. You'll recall that Republicans took back the House for the first time in 40 years, in part because of Hillary Care, when Hillary Clinton, then the First Lady of the United States, tried behind closed doors to ram through what we might call Obamacare 1, national health care, nationalized health insurance, and the public didn't want it and reacted. Fast forward now to 2012 and that election, where Republicans again took back the House, and the fallout now that Obamacare is in place, as you've said, with the polls declining in the latest Fox News poll, you're going to see, I think, the fallout from that continuing to reverberate, where the Democrats could very well lose the Senate, and that's why they're meeting behind closed doors with the president and his team to see what can be done. I don't think much can, because the president is not going to water down his position.
You know, Leslie, not only are some Democrats saying, Mr. President, don't help me, don't campaign for me, but they're openly and aggressively criticizing him of everything from his health care law to energy and regulatory policies, which, you know, some voters regard as anti-economic growth. Does this bode poorly for Democrats in the midterms?
No, quite frankly, this is so typical, Greg, of politicians. I mean, they will throw on both sides, Democrat and Republican, their party under the bus to save their own political careers. We saw this happen with both Democrats and Republicans who were incumbents and up for re-election when America all of a sudden didn't agree with us being in Iraq and wanted the troops home. And a lot of information came out, people on both sides of the aisle that had voted for that. I do disagree with Cal, and I know a lot of my Democrats get angry with me, but I'm a realist, and I believe that the House majority will remain Republican, and I believe the Senate majority will remain Democrat. I don't think we're going to see huge shakeup there.
You know, Cal, Republicans are taking advantage by launching ads reminding voters of the ties between President Obama and Democrats, especially ads in those states where Democrats supported Obamacare. But, you know, the public isn't exactly enamored of Republicans either, are they?
That's right. No, the favorability rating for Congress is slightly above pedophiles and just under colonoscopy doctors. There's no question.
Oh.
The public hates both parties. They hate the system. It's the system itself that's broken. You know, it's like taking a healthy person into an area where there's a widespread flu epidemic. You're likely to catch the flu. And people come to this town, they say, we're going to be more ethical and more upright and more moral than these other guys if you just elect us. So they elect them, and guess what? The scandals follow, the money problems follow. The whole system is busted. And I think what's needed is state constitutional authorized conventions to restrict the Congress from overspending, from overregulating, from overtaxing. Mark Levin, in his brilliant book, The Liberty Amendments, outlines how this would be done, would protect the Constitution. It would be limited. Yeah. That's what it's going to take, not just changing parties. That's not going to work.
Constitutional amendment to balance the budget is one of the things that's being considered this weekend in Maryland at the GOP retreat, but probably didn't have a chance of passing. Leslie, today and in his State of the Union address on Tuesday, you know, the president made it very clear that in his mind, income inequality is going to be a major theme for him, and he wants Democrats to be a theme this year. But take a look at this Fox News poll. It shows that people really don't care at all about income inequality, and they don't think the government should be involved in that. They care about jobs, 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 and jobs. And even moderate Democrats are saying, Mr. President, you're chasing the wrong issue, the same way you did with health care. Do they have a fair point?
Well, first of all, you know, it's the economy, stupid, not calling you stupid, of course, Greg, just the phrase. And that is it. One thing I will agree with Cal on is Republicans especially said, let us be in charge, let us take over the House and we'll create jobs. We haven't seen the creation of jobs. We need our Congress to work together. But the president does have
they can't get it past the Senate, which is Democrat control.
Tied into income inequality, we have two areas, one of which does help with jobs, which is to increase the minimum wage.
Yeah.
We also need people on both sides of the aisle to look to the people writing them checks for their political campaigns and say, stop outsourcing the jobs. Keep the jobs in the U.S. Stop closing factories in the U.S. You know, we were a leader in manufacturing. We can be again and in other areas. And we need to remember that the backbone of this nation is the middle class, the majority of the population. And the polls show that Americans do support all the president is pushing.
I'm out of time, but I will say, you know, the House has passed a lot of stuff, but Harry Reid won't even consider it for a vote. So, you know, you're kind of stuck there. Send your letters to Harry Reid. Leslie Marshall, Cal, love the colonoscopy comment.
Thank you very much. I also suffer from an income inequality, I want you to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you talk to the big guy about that.
Yeah, right.
Thanks very much, Cal and Leslie.